Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is November 30, 2021. Let's talk about top cybersecurity stocks. As you all know, cybersecurity is an emerging theme and the future wars are won not using physical force but instead using cybersecurity. There are a lot of bad actors and there are very good companies who are trying to secure your companies from the cyber threat. So with that, let's jump in and get started. Let's first do a quick market update. Look at the top cybersecurity stocks, look at few charts and try to compare them. And finally, let's rank them. We got Sentinel, Cloudflare, Fortinet, Zscaler, Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, Dynatrace, and Cisco. Let's rank them and take it from there. So with that, let's quickly do a market update. Let's go to Thinkorswim platform from TD Ameritrade. So as you can see here, after a great run yesterday, futures are giving it back a little bit today. It's pretty healthy. It's not good to always have a up market. Now we are getting to a market, which is good here. That tells you market is taking a breather. With that, as you can see here, S&P 500 is down 41 and Nasdaq is also down 82, as you can see here. And we got Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is a little bit weaker, as you can see here. It's down right now, down around 370 points. And we got Russell 2000 also down. As you can see here clearly, Dow Jones Industrial Average and Russell are the weaker of the indices here because they are below the 100-day moving average, whereas other two are really hanging on to 100-day moving average, as you can see here. Now let's quickly look at the bond market and see what's going on in the bond market. So as you scan through here in the bond market, we got bonds are higher. No wonder, as bonds go higher, stock market typically tries to go lower. So as you see here, we got here the 10-year interest rate here. As you can see, interest rates are not doing much here. It's just zero right now. So right now I think interest rate is a little bit on the lower side. That should help these bigger companies who borrow a lot of money. Then the crude oil is going down, as you can see here. Finally, crude oil is below 200-day moving average. That's a good sign here. That should help a lot of these companies who are having issues with the increase in the freight cost and the energy cost. And then finally we got gold here. Gold is up slightly. Folks are wondering whether to buy gold or not. That's why it's up slightly. We'll see how it goes. If the stock market weakens, gold can go a little bit higher. It's a good hedge play. So with that, I'll jump in and look at a few slides and try to compare the top cybersecurity stocks. So with that, let's jump in. From a top news perspective, we got here Cloudflare, one of my favorite stock here. Its momentum is justified. It's likely to continue according to investor place. And then we got three top cybersecurity stocks according to Motley Fool here. CrowdStrike, Net, and Okta. Basically CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, and Okta. And then we have here Fortinet. It's a can they double again? So I think it's a great stock. I love Fortinet. And then you got your Zscaler, which is supposed to be one of the best stocks to buy here. We'll look at this in a little more detail. And then you got Palo Alto Network. Palo Alto Network is doing great of late with the able leader Nikesh Arora. Stock has been doing great. Let's see if it can continue forward. And then we got here Dynatrace, one of the steady eddy type stock here. I think we should look at this Dynatrace and see if we can buy this company here. And then we got your great buying opportunity in CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, as you all know, has been dropping off of late. It's a great buying opportunity to buy this great stock at this discount here. And then we have here one great cybersecurity stock to buy right now, TENB. It's again a great stock. We'll look into a little more detail. And then we have here SAIC, one of the defense contractor here. They got a $1.1 billion torpedo contract with the US government. I think that's a good one here. We should look at this one too. This is also beaten down at these levels here. And then we got here one of the legacy company. This used to be great, Checkpoint Software. Off late, Checkpoint software is not doing much. It's acquiring a ATEN here. That's supposed to be one of the fastest growing email security companies. Let's see if Checkpoint can change its stripe and become a growth company again. Right now, it's a little bit of a value trap. Used to be a great company, but not doing much from a performance perspective. So with that, let's jump in and get started. So as you see here, first let's look at exchange traded funds and see how are these cybersecurity ETFs faring. So let's look at the top one here. We got CYBR. As you can see here, off late in 5-day, 10-day, 1 month, it's not doing great. It's a little bit down as you can see here. And the RSI, relative strength index, in last 14 days is 40. That tells you, in last 14 days, this ETF is not doing great. And same story, we got bug here. Bug is also not doing great. RSI 38, even weaker than cyber. As you can see here, 5-day, 10-day, 1 month is a little bit weaker. And finally, hack. Hack is also has a much lower RSI here, a little more weaker. The reason I bring this up is really, when the cybersecurity stocks are hot, everybody talks about cybersecurity. Right now, they're cooling off a little bit. And as you can see here, in 1 day, they're improving. So that tells you, what, after pulling back quite hard or pretty hard, they're trying to improve in the nearer term. That's when, we have to jump in and buy slowly and accumulate. So with that, let's jump in here and look at stocks. So let's first look at top cybersecurity stocks. So as you can look through here, let's bring it a little bit in the center here. There you go. So as you look through here, we got top cybersecurity stocks here. It's organized by performance. First three stocks here, they don't have a 1 year performance. That's why they showed up at the top here. But as you can look through here, we got here SentinelOne, which does not have a 1 year performance. But as you look through here, we got Fortinet on the top here. Fortinet is doing great, 186% performance in 1 year, followed by we got next one here, which is Netflare or Cloudflare, which is NET. That's also doing great here. As you can see, that's a great stock here. And then we got here Zscaler. It's completely born in cloud. That's doing great. Then you got Mimecast, ATEN, and so on and so forth. As you can see here, many of these are smaller companies like Mimecast, ATEN, much smaller companies, and Arista Network is it's a little bigger company, around $10 billion company. But as you can see here, many of these smaller players are doing very well in 1 year time frame. And then you got big players as you scan through here with the market cap here. The bigger players like CrowdStrike here, Juniper Network is also getting some groove back here. This used to be one of those sleeper stocks. Finally, it's waking up. That's a good sign here. So this will give you a good idea on what's going on here. And one thing I want to notice here is look at the institution buying here, like KNBE KnowBe4. Institutions are buying it. Right now, RSI is low. As you can see here, 42. That tells you probably you should buy along with these institutions here and accumulate. And same story, SentinelOne, one of my favorite stock here. Off late, it's not doing great. A little bit newer IPO. Insiders are buying. That tells you they have conviction. This can also come up nicely. And then you can follow through here. We don't have too much insider buying here. But as usual, keep watching the RSI levels here. Stocks like Cloudflare, you can wait a little bit. RSI is 56. You could buy selectively or wait a little bit. And same story with a couple more here like Arista Network, McAfee, and even Palo Alto Network. They had a good run. I would wait for a little pullback here. But you got great buying opportunity in stocks like CrowdStrike as an example, which has fallen down pretty badly here, as you can see here. You keep watching the RSI levels. Dynatrace, again, a great one to buy. It's really pulled back pretty hard here, and go from there. So next we look at few more here. As you can look through here, we got one of the biggest companies in this spreadsheet here, which is Cisco Systems. It's a great stock, $235 billion company. This used to be one of the biggest companies, in the world by market cap maybe 10 years ago. Right now, it's just trying to see where to go. As you can see here, this stock has done around 35% in 1 year and great 118% in 5 year. It's a steady Eddie type stock here. We should probably take a look at this one and see if it's worth buying. And as you scan through here, the performance in 1 year keeps dropping, as you can see here. And a couple of great companies, most of you know, are somewhere in the middle here. We got Akamai Technologies, one of my favorite. Right now, we're trying to see where to go here. And we got few more JAMF. It came down pretty hard last week. Now it's trying to improve slowly, as you can see here. It's a good buy at these levels here. And then we got Okta. Everybody knows Okta. Okta is a great stock. Right now, this also fell down pretty hard here. RSI is pretty low, as you can see here. And Checkpoint is stuck in the bottom here somewhere. As you can see, a Checkpoint is really struggling off late. It has got nice gross margin, as you can see here, but stock is not doing well from a performance perspective. And then you got Splunk here stuck in the bottom, as you can see here. It's a great company. I'm not sure what's going on in Splunk here. I think it may be good to buy slowly. It's trying to come up in 1 day. And Sumo Logic, after falling down pretty hard, is trying to go higher here. Could be a good one to buy. As usual, keep watching insider buys here, like PSN. Insiders are buying. That could be a good one to look at. And many places like Tuffin here, institutions are buying nicely. That's a good one to look at. And we got Telos here, institutions are buying. That could be a good one to look at. And also keep watching, from a volume perspective. We got here Tuffin, nice volume, more than twice the normal volume. That's a good one here. And also we got here two more here, Zixi as well as TLS here. Both have got more than 1.5 times the normal volume. That's also a good one to look at. And in the previous slide, keep watching the volume here. We got few stocks with nice volume. For example, we got CrowdStrike, nice volume. That tells you folks are interested at this bottom price here. They're buying. So with that, let's jump in and look at some more details here. And you looked at all the stocks in the cybersecurity or key stocks. Now let's look at filtering out some candidates based on the positive gross margin, low RSI, and volume greater than 250K. So these are the great companies, which are pulled back a little bit and right to buy at this time. So with that, this is a short list here. As you can see here, all these stocks have got low RSI. That tells you these stocks have been pulling back pretty hard. So good time to entry. And then as you can see here, nice gross margin positive. And from a debt level, it's all low debt. That's why I like this short list here. We should look at this short list and see if we can buy some of these great stocks on this pullback here. As usual, keep watching the volume here. Tuffin looks like folks are buying Tuffin here, more than twice the volume here. And the ramp, a little bit lower volume. That's why it's in red. So it's 75% of the normal volume, which tells you volume is drying up in these companies. Even the JAMF here, a little bit lower volume compared to 3-month average. So these are the great stocks. Keep watching. All these stocks are for satisfying rule of 40, where the gross margin plus quarter-over-quarter sales growth greater than 40%. Great stocks. So with that, now let's jump in and try to look at the few charts here. We got Palo Alto Network, Nikesh Arora. He's been doing great of late. He's really taking the company into a nice cloud platform play here. They want to be want to become one-stop shop for all the cybersecurity needs. Nice uptrend here within the chart here. Also, on the balance volume is ramping up. That's a good sign here. As you look through here, Palo Alto Network, nice sales growth, nice gross margin. Even nice 1 year and 5 year sales growth. I think the company doing things right here. Net margin is negative. Company is not making too much money. And also, I'm not too happy because they're taking too much debt here. That's why debt to equity ratio is a little high compared to other companies here. Right now it's too hot from an RSI perspective. I would wait for a little bit better time for entry and a little bit lower RSI. Stock has been running, as you can see here. Let it catch some breath here, let it come down a little bit, then we can buy this great company. And we got Cloudflare or Net here, great stock here. As you can see here, this one has pulled back a little bit. Right now RSI a little bit lower and nice on the balance volume. That tells you there are more buyers than sellers. So I would be a buyer of a Net here slowly and accumulate. As you can see here, Net or Cloudflare has got nice 1 year quarter over quarter sales growth as well as great margin here. They got a little bit higher debt to equity, but which is okay, no big deal, and a little bit higher RSI. Overall, it's a great stock. I think we should buy this on this pull back in the stock market and accumulate. And then you got Fortinet. Fortinet is a rocket ship. It's a great stock here. I can't stress enough. This company has been doing great day in and day out. As you can see here, nice sales growth, nice gross margin, nice net margin, and also lower debt. That's a great one here. Lower RSI tells you stock has been a little bit pulling back off late. A good entry point in Fortinet here. Look at the performance. I think this is one of the best performer in the industry here in the security area. 1035% in 5 years. That's a great performance. It's not a one trick pony. They got persistence to keep growing. And finally, we got Zscaler, which is a newer entrant, as you know. Stock has been doing great of late. It's a rocket ship, as you can see here. On the balance volume is also positive. And Zscaler, as you can see here, nice sales growth and gross margin. And right now, from a debt to equity perspective, it's negative. Net margin is also negative. If you look at this chart down here, look, Fortinet has got a positive net margin. Company is making money, and also look at the performance, great performance. So I think that's a winner here. I think it's a good stock to buy. And let's look at a few more here. We got Sentinel, new player. I like SentinelOne. It's a great stock here. Right now it's pulled back here. Look, it's trying to bounce off of its 200-day moving average. On the balance volume is picking up. This is the right time to pick up some SentinelOne here and go from there. This has got great potential. Even though it's a little bit newer company, they got a great future ahead of them. And then you got Cisco. Cisco is a steady eddy. After the last quarter, company stock came down a little bit. Right now it's at around 55, as you can see here. RSI is around 36 here. Sorry, RSI is 49. It's a great stock to buy and pull back. Steady eddy. Don't expect explosive growth here, but rather a steady eddy with a nice around 2.5% or so dividend yield, which is a good stock to buy and sock it away. With Cisco, you don't need to worry too much. It's a steady eddy stock. Don't need to worry about huge crashes. Pretty much nice dividend yield. Pretty much goes along with the S&P 500 performance. Something along those lines. Steady eddy, sleep at home type stock here. And then you got Dynatrace here. It's a great stock, as you can see here. Right now it's pulled back, trying to bounce off of its 200-day moving average. I would be a buyer in Dynatrace at these levels here. Great stock. As you can see here, nice performance and also nice quarter over quarter growth here, and gross margin handily beats rule of 40 here. Net margin positive. That means company is making money. And also they've done pretty much okay, 69% in 1 year. It's a good one. And we got CrowdStrike here. Again, a great stock here. It just pulled below 200-day moving average, trying to bounce off of it. I think it's a great stock to buy. You will not find CrowdStrike at these levels many times. I think it tried to touch back in April time frame. Now it's below 200-day moving average. It's a great one to buy at these levels. As you can see here, CrowdStrike, nice sales growth, nice gross margin, and also it's done about 50% in 1 year. Keep watching the volume here. Volume is almost 1.5 times normal volume. That's why it's highlighted in blue here. It's a good one to buy at these levels. Now let's rank some of these stocks here. Let's rank SentinelOne, Cloudflare, Fortinet, Zscaler, Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, Dynatrace, and Cisco, and see which one is doing better and grade them. So as you look through here from a fundamentals perspective, We got all these stocks are right now below their enterprise value. That's why all are shown in green background here. That tells you even if you sell these companies now, you will get a you'll get a actually I'll take that back here. What this tells you is really right now enterprise value is 13 million and market cap is 15 million, so they're trading a little bit higher than their enterprise value, which is the case typically with these cybersecurity or the internet type companies. And all these stocks have got nice trading volume here, very liquid. You can go in and go out pretty easily. And as you look through here from an average volume perspective, it's a respectable average volume here, nice average volume. So overall, I think these are doing great here, and all these stocks are a little bit higher price as you can see here. Probably lowest one could be the SentinelOne here, or actually Cisco is the lowest one in this list here. But great stocks. From a market cap perspective, Cisco is the biggest here, and probably next one is Cloudflare here. And then we got Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike and so on and so forth. All great companies doing pretty great. And next, let's look at fundamentals here and the analyst recommendation. As you look through here, all these stocks come up with either a buy rating or a strong buy rating, as you can see here. CrowdStrike and Dynatrace with a strong buy here, and they also pulled back pretty hard in a good entry point here. And as you look through here, in a couple of stocks here like Cloudflare, Fortinet, and Zscaler, there's a good hold rating as you can see here. And if you look at the strong buy rating, we've got Palo Alto Networks with a very good strong buy rating here as you can see. And finally, from a target price perspective, all the stocks have got a higher target price, evidenced by green background here. But Zscaler, I think they're trying to have a lower target price here. Maybe stock has gone up so high so quickly. That's why it's got a little bit lower target price. And all these stocks, as you can see, they pulled back pretty hard from 52-week high, probably with the exception of Palo Alto Network and Zscaler as well as Cisco. I think all these are great stocks here, and we should look at buying them slowly. As we look through here, we'll look at fundamentals here from a revenue perspective. Look here, we got a nice revenue from a quarter-over-quarter revenue growth perspective in both, in Cloudflare here, nice one here. Fortinet is also doing great, as you can see here. They got nice quarter-over-quarter, year-over-year, and 5-year past revenue growth here. That's a good one. Very steady Eddie company. And then you got Zscaler doing great. It's a newer company, as you can see here, but doing great. So overall, all these companies are doing great. Cisco being the big one here. Growth is a little bit less compared to other companies. Being a big company and focused on multiple things like routing and collaboration and security. They have to look at multiple areas. It's not a pure play cybersecurity company. Being a bigger company, growth is a little bit less, as you can see here. Next, we'll look at fundamentals from a margins, cash, debt, and valuation perspective. As you can see here, we got all these companies with a nice gross margin. I love this very nice gross margin here. Look, we got Cloudflare, Fortinet, Zscaler doing great. Even Palo Alto and CrowdStrike and Dynatrace, huge gross margin here. End of the day, net margin also matters here. Look, we got Cloudflare with the negative net margin. Companies still not making it. We got Zscaler, Palo Alto, and CrowdStrike, the same story. On the other hand, Fortinet is making money here. End of the day, net margin positive, and Dynatrace and Cisco same way. And SentinelOne, it's a zero right now. They're trying to break even, I would think. And from a cash flow perspective, we got a few negative cash flow companies like SentinelOne, still a early stage company here, and Cloudflare is also right now cash flow negative or a free cash flow negative right now. But others are checking along and doing pretty well. Look at Cisco; they're bringing the cash nicely. I think that's a good cash flow here. That's a very good cash flow on Cisco here. And then you got from a cash position itself, Cisco is the highest here, 24 billion cash here. It's a cash cow, as they say here. But others also have good cash position, as you can see here. And from a debt perspective, Cisco has the biggest here, but we should look at debt to equity ratio. From a debt to equity ratio perspective, Cisco is faring pretty well here, as well as Dynatrace. But Palo Alto and Zscaler, they took on too much debt here. Palo Alto is taking huge amount of debt here. Probably they want to grow and take, make sure, get some cheap, money with the lower interest rate. That's what's going on there. But I don't like companies to take on too much debt. And then you got earnings per share here. Clearly, Cisco and Dynatrace as well as Fortinet, they're showing some positive earnings here. Others are still showing negative earnings. Probably they want to grow instead of showing profit. So with that, let's jump in and look at a few more things here. From a fundamentals, from future revenue estimates, I think one thing to look at is the past revenue growth, and we should also look at the future estimates. As you can see here, let's look at the earnings this year. Looks like Sentinel, Zscaler, Palo Alto, and Cisco, all of them have got negative EPS growth this year. But look at the next year, which is more important. All of them have got positive growth here. Look, Cloudflare is 100%. That's a great number here. Analysts are betting on Cloudflare to go nicely. And I think we got Zscaler also good number here, and CrowdStrike also has a great number. And even if you look at 5-year, sales growth next year, look, Sentinel has got a great number here, 73%. And as we scan through, we got Zscaler, also good number here. Even Cloudflare has got a good number here. And Cisco is a little bit less here, being a bigger company. It's difficult to grow from a number perspective. And from a return on equity and return on asset perspective, Cisco is very respectable, as well as Fortinet is doing great here, as you can see here. Dynatrace is also doing pretty well here. I would like to see this in double digits. And then we look at technical analysis here. I know a lot of you love technical analysis. Look here from a relative strength perspective. Looks like a good entry point in SentinelOne. It's a great to buy, good entry point. And same story. CrowdStrike is a great entry point here, along with the Dynatrace, great entry point right now. Whereas stocks like Fortinet here, you could wait a little bit, but I would buy a little bit at these levels and buy more later. But Palo Alto, clearly we have to wait a little bit for a pullback. 64 is still high entry point here. I would wait a little bit. And MFI money flow index tells you it's the RSI, also considers the volume. The RSI does not consider volume, just the price, but the MFI money flow index considers both price and volume. That's why many folks love MFI. A higher MFI tells you it's a little bit hot at this time, but a lower MFI tells you it's good to buy. And then got implied volatility percentile here. For the folks who want to sell some put options, make some money, keep watching here. All these names with the red and the higher IV percentile rank here, above 50 are the great ones to sell some put options or put spreads and make some money that way. And then got put call ratio. This tells you if the folks in the options market are betting stock will go higher. A lower put call ratio tells you more call options are being bought than put options. That's a good one. For example, SentinelOne, lowest number here from a put call ratio perspective. That tells you a lot of folks are bullish on SentinelOne, that this stock will go higher. Same story with the Dynatrace here. And as you can see here, we got even Fortinet, a great one. Folks are betting it will go higher. On the other hand, Zscaler, folks are betting this might go a little bit lower. That's why more people are buying put and hedging themselves on any downside risk here. And look at the float short here. A lot of people are shorting, SentinelOne. This can create a nice short squeeze. When the RSI is low and there's a high short, there's a great chance it's good to buy, because that might create a nice short squeeze opportunities. And as you can see here, Zscaler shorts are increasing right now slowly. and stock is at a high point. I would not buy the stock at these levels. Let the shorts uh, increase here and let the stock come down a little bit, then I would buy Zscaler. And from a shares float perspective, as you can see here, Cisco has got a lot of shares outstanding. That's why it's a little bit difficult for this company to go higher. It's all about supply demand. More stocks you have in the supply, it takes more time for it to deplete. That's why it will go a little bit slower from a performance perspective. On the other hand, SentinelOne has very few stocks here along with Zscaler. That's why those stocks can go higher pretty quickly. And even Fortinet, same story, a little bit lower, and Dynatrace. So with even Palo Alto has got lower share count here. This can also go higher, but it already went high, so we should wait a little bit for a pullback. And let's look at a few more. Let's look at the past performance. As you look through here, as folks say here, past performance could be indicator of what might come in the future. Clearly, as you can see here, Fortinet is doing great. 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, all green here. So Fortinet is really a great company here. I think they're performing really well, very steady Eddie, day in and day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. They've been doing great here. So that's the hallmark of a great company here. And then we got Zscaler and Palo Alto trying to get there, as you can see here. And even Cloudflare, I like it. It's doing great here. On the other hand, companies like SentinelOne, CrowdStrike, Dynatrace, they have hit and miss. Off late, they're a little bit weak. That's why it's a good entry point. Whereas Cisco is a steady Eddie. You could buy the stock and just sleep at night peacefully. It will not rock the boat here. That's why it's a safer play. Nice dividend yield, as you can see here. It will kind of help you grow your money through the dividend yield. Even if you're a retiree or a value player, you could buy some Cisco and just forget about it. And finally, we got your moving average perspective. I know many of you love moving average. Me too. I love moving average. Right now, as you can see here, SentinelOne here, they're below their moving average, 10 day, 20 day, 50 day, 120, 200. That's why it's a bearish right now. Right now it's bearish. That's why I would slowly look at this and see if you can buy and take it from there. And as you see here, it's one thing to look at as you look at the moving average, very important. Keep watching how is 200-day moving average and 120 and 50. These are the higher, time frame moving averages. So these are a little bit lower, like it's just 0.1% below 200-day moving average. But 10-day moving average and 20-day moving average, they are down much bigger. That tells you right now there is a weakness here. So you probably should try to initiate a small position and take it from there. And then you got other players here. Look here, Fortinet, Zscaler, Palo Alto doing great here. They're above all their moving averages, very bullish at this time. But if you're looking for an entry point here, look at CrowdStrike, great entry point here. Right now they're below the moving average, great stock. And also Dynatrace, great stock here, good time to buy some. They're above their 200-day moving average. That tells you this company is turning around, but below their short-term moving average. Even Cisco, for that matter, it's a great entry point here. I think we should try to buy Cisco at these levels on any pullback. So with that, finally, let's sum it up here and go from there. From a fundamentals perspective, as you can see here, we got SentinelOne, Cloudflare, Fortinet, Zscaler, Palo Alto Network, CrowdStrike, Dynatrace, and Cisco. Great players here. Cisco being the biggest $235 billion company here. And as you scan through here from a gross margin perspective, the highest gross margin goes to Dynatrace here, and next we got Fortinet as well as Cloudflare here, as well as Zscaler. But if you look at the net margin here, end of the day, what's the net margin? As you can see here, Cloudflare negative, Zscaler negative, Palo Alto negative, CrowdStrike CrowdStrike is also negative here. But Cisco is doing great money. They keep around 20% of their money. That's a good story. So overall, we should look at both gross margin, quarter-over-quarter growth, and net margin. And also Cisco is growing a little bit less compared to other companies here, given it's a big behemoth. On the other hand, Cloudflare is growing nicely from a top line perspective, and also Zscaler is growing top line nicely, and CrowdStrike also growing nicely. Finally, let's look at the ranking here. As you look through here from a financial perspective, Cisco gets the top rating here, grade A. Fortinet gets a grade A. But on the weaker side, we got SentinelOne, a little bit lower on the financial health. Next, we got Altman Z-score. This tells you if the companies are going to go bankrupt. All these companies are not going to go bankrupt. Very solid footing. Anytime you see Altman Z-score above 1.8, that tells you these companies are very solvent. They're not going to go out of business. Then you got Plotrowski F score here. That tells you how is the financial position. Is it improving or degrading? So as you can see here, the rank with the score higher, that tells you they're improving. For example, Fortinet, the financials are improving. Zscaler, financials are improving. And look at Dynatrace, nice improving financials, as well as Cisco. The higher the score in Plotrowski F score, that tells you the financials and the accounts, they're improving. Whereas lower score tells you it's okay, it's not as great as higher score candidates. So then we got a growth here from a growth perspective. Cloudflare is growing nicely here, and we got Zscaler as well as CrowdStrike growing nicely. Then we got other players like Fortinet gets a B here. Cisco gets a C, being a big company. As we see here, the quarter-over-quarter growth is a little bit less for Cisco. That's why Cisco gets a C here. Then finally from a profitability perspective, look here, Fortinet and Cisco, they do great here, whereas Zscaler and Palo Alto gets a F grade here. And finally, industry profit rank perspective, looks like we got Cisco up here, nice here, industry profit perspective. Look at the profit margin, 20%. Whereas Dynatrace is good here, and Fortinet is also great. That's why I love Fortinet here. This is doing very well and growing nicely also. And finally, we got industry quality rank here. Looks like Fortinet gets a 1 here, and Cisco gets a 1, whereas Dynatrace 2, others are a little bit lower here. So we looked at a lot of numbers. Your head must be spinning. You must be thinking, hey, give me the rank. So let's look at the rank here and go from there. So from a rank perspective, clearly Fortinet is number 1 here, being nice sales growth here. As you can see, your top line growth is nice for Fortinet here, and also profitability is great here. And number 2 goes to Dynatrace here. As you can see here, Dynatrace mostly green everywhere, strong buy. They're also having some nice net margin here and growing nicely from a top line perspective. And number 3 is CrowdStrike here. This is a great stock to buy at these levels. CrowdStrike, as you can see here, nice revenue growth here. Very right here, 70%. And also they're doing well. They have to improve their net margin here, but growing nicely. And number 4 goes to Zscaler, and Zscaler also nice growth company, as you can see here, 57% growth here, nice gross margin. And number 5 goes to Cloudflare or Net. This is also one of my favorite company. I think they're also growing nicely here. As you can see here, 51% growth and nice gross margin. And number 9 goes to 9 here goes to Cisco. As you can see here, Cisco is great here, nice company, nice profit margin, but also nice dividend. But if you're looking at the growth, it's a little bit slower compared to other companies. Being a big behemoth here, it's difficult to grow number because numbers are getting bigger here. But I love Cisco here. That's a great company. And it's the number 10 right now. It's number 10 is Palo Alto Networks. It's a great company again. As you can see here, Palo Alto is growing nicely. Nice top line growth here, and also gross margin is great here. But they're taking a little more debt than I like here. They are number 10 here. And number 11 is S here, SentinelOne here. It's also a great company. Probably I should renumber this in the order here. I will do that in a minute. Last but not least is Sentinel here. Sentinel, as you can see here, it's a great company. Stock has been pulling back. Newer company, nice gross margin. But right now, as you can see here, it's a you know from profit rank perspective, it's number 6, one of the lowest here. Quality rank is in between here. That's where they're in the bottom in this rank here. So with that, that's a wrap here. I will just fix some of these numbers here for you. Cloudflare is number 5 here. Then we got Cisco number 6. We got Palo Alto number 7 here, and we got SentinelOne number 8. So there you go. That's the wrap here. So with that, we got the latest ranking right here. So take a look at this and invest appropriately. It's a great time to buy cybersecurity. I wish you the success. As usual, keep watching the RSI levels. If it is low, that tells you stock is fallen down a little bit. Good time to buy. On the other hand, if the RSI goes higher, if you're a trader, you could trim the position. But if you're an investor, keep holding on. No big deal. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.